Are you a lifelong fan of General Hospital?
Are you a new fan who wants to know more about the history of the show?
Do you enjoy talking about the show with others?
Do you find yourself yelling at the TV?
Is your self-care an hour a day in Port Charles?
If so, we invite you to join hosts
Amanda Kimmel
and Shannon Coach at the place where all the hidden conversations take place and secrets are revealed.
Meet us at Pier 54,
a General Hospital fan podcast. Hi!
Hi!
Welcome to the Port Charles 411 about the thing that soap opera is all about.
Valentine's Day.
Love, Valentine's Day, all that fun stuff. So we are not doing recaps the way that we did for the holidays last year.
I don't know if we could have even done it that way. It was a lot of the same information over and over again whenever you looked into it.
Yeah.
So, and this is way more exciting. As much as I hate getting stuck in the YouTube rabbit hole, it's way more fun.
It's awesome. And we're going to make a nice playlist for you on our YouTube channel. So any video that we reference, we will have up on YouTube. So we did go to social media and asked, what's your favorite memory from Valentine's Day past?
Yep. I started with Facebook, the All General Hospital Talk Welcome Facebook page. And Patty Noonan O'Brien said, which I thought this is the sweetest, because when you think of Valentine's Day, you think of like all the hot, steamy romances. And she said, when Jason got a Valentine's Day card from Danny, and she put the little picture.
Oh, yeah.
Isn't that
I forgot about that.
Yes. So I
that is sweet. See, and that's the stuff that I was really hoping we were. Trust me, I love everything that we got answers about, because there was a lot that I was like, oh, forgot about that, or didn't know because it was before my time.
Yes. See, I thought that was sweet. She didn't go the
forgot about that
traditional route. And then Pat L. Koger said, when Anna tied Robert to a post and left him there.
Number one on Twitter.
Is that number one? Everyone loves.
Did you watch it?
I didn't. I did not go back and
Okay,
watch that
can I tell you the story?
Sure.
Okay, because I watched the entire thing.
Okay.
Because I had no idea what they were talking about, because that was the time where I was not even an age where when I came home from school, I would catch the end.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So, 1991.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I'm a little older than you, so.
I was 9, sorry. So I was in elementary school. I didn't get to watch it. So many people said 1991, the Valentines Day Massacre was the name of the episode. Basically, Anna and Robert. So I had to go back and watch a little bit just to get
I watched the beginning part of that. He got flowers for her and Robin, and that was sweet.
Yeah.
And there was the whole awkward moment of he was trying to pin the corsage on her.
Yes.
So I saw that part, but I didn't. That was a lot of footage. How long were you stuck in that?
I was really good and stuck just to that. I think it was 5 parts. So this is why we make the playlists. That way you don't have to go all over the place like I did.
Okay.
So basically, you saw where they met at the Port Charles Hotel.
Mm-hmm.
And
it's hard not to call that the Metro.
It really is. They were going to Robin's dance recital.
On Valentine's Day?
Not just that outfit, they were so overdressed for
They were super
a dance
overdressed
recital. But we're not going to get into that.
Okay.
So you see Robert's talking to Cheryl.
Mm-hmm.
And she's begging him to take her back and everything.
Yeah, that was pathetic.
And then out of the corner of his eye, Anna just walks in draped in red. I mean, she is in this long red dress with this gorgeous red cape and that hair that weighs more than she does. I mean,
yes.
90s, but it was still 80s.
Oh, yeah.
Vibe. So they go to the dance recital, and did you know that Kimberly McCullough actually got started doing dance?
No.
And her Instagram name is Kimmy a Break, and that's because that was her breakdancing name. I mean, she wasn't just ballet and everything. She did breakdancing. That's the type of recital. So when I was hearing, I'm maybe she's in Swan Lake or something.
Right.
Maybe it's a fancy thing. No, I mean, she was wearing neon with overalls and a baseball cap and, breakdancing. But then she did a little interpretive dance too. So Steve Hardy and Audrey were there too. And they were sitting behind Robert and Anna. And Anna took her shoe off and was rubbing her foot all over Robert's leg. And Steve had dropped his program and picked it up and saw. He got the cutest smile on his face. He's like, ah, yeah. And then he nudges Audrey and he's like, look it, And she eventually goes down. And of course, she's all aghast that they're doing that. Well, then Robert moves his leg and crosses it over his own to push her away.
Right.
And she gets that little pouty face and everything. And then when it's all done, they're standing out in the lobby. They're drinking wine and stuff. I mean, I've been to kids' dance recitals.
I want to go. My children need to join this dance team.
Right. They don't.
That sounds awesome.
They don't do that.
No.
But they're all talking, and someone said something about the dancing was so impressive. And Steve was like, yeah, there was a lot of impressive footwork going on tonight. But he's like doing all these weird, I mean, he was Steve Hardy, you know, he's like, what is this? And he's like doing these weird moves and everything.
Aww.
I mean, it made you really miss him like so much more because you're like, man, you were so fun.
But back to why she tied him up.
Oh, no, hold it. We are getting there. You need this. You need this.
Okay.
You need this. So I forgot to say that when they were at the hotel, she had gone to the bar and ordered just a club soda. And was waiting for him, and then like he never showed up, and then
I saw that.
Okay,
yeah.
So she left, and then he came in, but then she came back, and blah blah blah, and then they go to the recital.
Okay.
And basically, like they're really flirting with each other all night, and then they go back to. Robin said she was going to go out with the cast and crew because after party, whatever.
Right.
So they decide to go back to Robert's place, and they start flirting and all that stuff, and things start to get a little heated.
That's a nice water bottle.
It's my Burton Nutrition water bottle that came with my package.
Very nice.
That we also have savings for under the savings tab at pier54podcast.com. Sorry, there was a lot, so I needed to take a sip of water.
You're good.
So, like the week before, and this is what I had to go back. A week before, and I'm using Curlyqgrl GH page to reference because I was like, what is she talking about? The week before, Robert had called her a nag and a frump.
Anna has never been a frump.
Right.
No.
Right. During an argument.
Okay.
And so she's like seducing him, and she takes off her dress, and he had like hurt his shoulder, and she's like, well, here, I can help you, like lay down on the floor. I'll rub it out of your back and everything. But then she can't because of the dress. And she's like, well, here, let me take off my dress.
That's convenient.
And she's wearing, thigh highs. Those strappy things.
Garters?
Yes. All that.
Garter belt?
And so she's, massaging his back and everything, gets him to take off his shirt. And then I forget how she actually got him over to the pillar, but they're like kissing and, she took off her stockings and they're kissing. And then she is acting like she's tying him up to the pillar and everything. Well, she really was tying him up to the pillar. Mm-hmm. Long story short, she winds up leaving him there.
That wasn't very nice.
So she dumped ice over his head after he was tied up, dumped ice over his head and was like, that's for calling me a frump, and left.
Nice.
Took his shirt and left. Well, then the next morning she awakens like, what the heck? Because she realizes she left him there. Well, so she's going all over the place. Robin winds up finding Robert's shirt on the floor, and she's all like, yeah, Mom. Well, then she starts grilling Anna. And she's like, I mean, everything. She kept asking who made a pass at who. Right. And did anything happen? Come on, Mom. I'm not a little kid. And I'm like, no. No.
She was still little enough. She should
was
not
certainly
be asking. I mean, you should never ask your parents those kind of details, but definitely
way too
not
much.
at that age.
Way too much. And they weren't together. So,
right.
So that's why she was excited, is because she thought they were getting back together. But at the same time, she like, did he make a pass at you? Did you make a pass at him? Where did you guys go? And she's like, did you notice that I sprayed your favorite perfume on your pillow last night? And I think she was trying to trick Anna into saying, I didn't sleep her. But she did. And she's like, I didn't notice. But she's like, look at my bed. It's been slept in.
Yeah.
And so then Anna runs over to Robert and starts to try to untie him. And he like screams at her. And it looked like he almost bit at her. So she stuffed his mouth again and left. And then she proceeds to go to everybody trying to get somebody to go to his apartment and untie him. And eventually, so Sean says no. She goes to the police station and tries to get like two of the officers. She talks to some woman and she's like, are you sure you didn't see him today? I had an appointment with him and he didn't show up and all this stuff. So then eventually she gets to Frisco and she's basically like, I'm not going to give you too much detail, but I need you to go untie Robert. And this is when Frisco was a cop. So he shows up like in his cop outfit and everything and goes and lets Robert out.
Okay.
And then they go back to the police station, and it's when the Greenpeace people were there.
Okay.
And remember, that's when Mac came.
Oh,
So that
wow.
was kind of, I didn't go there, but because we did our 411 about Mac, I was like, wait, I watched this because
Yes.
this is where Mac came about. But then Robert gets back at Anna and he goes to her house and has champagne and all of that for her. And he's like, you left me alone and it really made me think and blah, 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 blah. So then they have a sip of champagne. He pulls her close. She puts her leg up and he flips her on the couch and says, "You've lost it," and walked out. It was awesome. You have to go watch it.
I will
You
go.
have to go watch it.
Like I said, I was trying not to get lost in the rabbit hole, so that storyline was dragging out in the beginning, and
It's totally worth
I
it.
saw her get her corsage, and I was done after that.
It's totally worth it.
Okay.
So the ones who made me even aware of it were Shannon Brown and then Jen M and Sunshine. All commented on Twitter about it. And I was so happy they introduced that to me because that was great. Amanda, guess what time it is?
What time is it?
It's time for me to pick out my FabFitFun selections.
Oh my gosh, you were so excited with the last box. What are you going to get this time?
I love FabFitFun. Seriously, I've been using it for over a year. And at first I was like, do I really want to, spend money on that? Yes.
I know how excited
you get
you
over
were.
$200 worth of products for only $49.99, and it's once a quarter.
That's not bad at all.
No, not at all. One of the items that I'm getting in my spring box is a light therapy anti-wrinkle light. That I've seen them listed other places for well over $100, and that's going to be included in my box. They also have robes, different lotions, sprays. There's a really cute umbrella on there. Tons of things for you to pick out.
You're making me want one.
You could go to our website, pure54podcast.com, and just go under the savings tab and click the get offer button under the FabFitFun. Make sure to use promo code Rainbow and you get $10 off your first box.
That's a deal.
It's amazing. So go check out our website, pure54podcast.com, and make sure to use promo code Rainbow for $10 off your first box. And you're going to love it. What else do you have?
All right. The General Hospital Charlie's Pub Facebook page.
Oh.
There's so
That's
many.
a good name.
There's so many out there. Molly Bridget Joel said all of them great actors, which it is hard to pick a favorite, so I sympathize with her.
Yep.
Joel Ebank said Franco and Liz last year getting married while he was incarcerated. It was so adorable, and it shows that nothing will stop true love.
Someone else on Twitter commented about that one, and IJM needs some frizz heat. Said, as far as weddings go, it was a ripoff to the fans, but at least Elizabeth and Franco got married on Valentine's Day. Which is true, because it really wasn't much, even though it was their wedding. So
I'm sure we're going to talk about other weddings that happened on Valentine's Day. So maybe they kept that one kind of low key because they couldn't compete with one of the past. And then Betty Goldman said, Jason Sam when Molly and Christina decorated the penthouse.
Did you watch that?
I didn't watch that, but I think that Molly and Christina should start their own decorating business, their own party planning, because I did watch the Alexis and Mac Valentine's Day.
That was the same one.
Oh, so it was just that year they decorated everyone?
They just took over. So Kelly Monaco fan on Instagram, and when Molly organizes a romantic Valentine's Day dinner for Jason and Sam 2010, they're the best couple ever. And then Kathy Seiki, Jason reading the Gun magazine to Sam. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about this one too, because I watched it. And I wrote them all down in my Rocket book. That is not a paid affiliation. I just like it a lot. Sam was at the PCPD.
Okay.
Jason is there trying to get her out and everything. And then he eventually winds up getting her out. And she's like, I think that's the fastest that I've ever seen Diane, push stuff through. And he's like, well, we did interrupt her and Max's Valentine's Day. And then they're both like, I don't want to think about that. So they open up the door and it's all dark and there's some candles and there's pink balloons everywhere. And she's like, I feel like you're not the one who did this. And he said, yeah, I gave Molly and Christina money to do it.
I do remember that.
So he gave them the money and was like, can you make this look nice for your sister? So that's sweet. So they decorated it. Well, and then they started to enjoy it. Nothing over the top. But then you hear Molly say, he's supposed to be reading her poetry now. They wound up getting stuck there because they got back sooner then. They thought they did,
Oh,
so they
okay.
just went and hid.
Okay.
And Christina and Molly come out, and Sam thanks them so much. And Molly pulls Jason over and says, "Don't be passive and make Sam do all the work. Give her flowers, maybe put one in her hair, and read some poetry. Here, I've marked some of my favorites." And they wind up leaving. So then they pop the champagne, which is pink champagne. And the girls let us know that they got Milo in on, Molly said it really cute. It was like the quest for true love or something like that. Like
Aw.
he was doing it for that reason. And so Milo was like, "Okay, I'll get you pink champagne." Then Sam says, "Molly said you had to do one more thing." He was like, "Poetry?" And the next you see is Sam laying on the couch. And you know how she lays on the couch with her legs over him
Mm-hmm.
and he's sitting up talking to her. So they're doing that. But as the camera pulls back, you see Firearms is the name of the magazine. So he winds up reading to her from a gun magazine. And he says, "Do you know what I like for you? A 9mm with ultralight non-slip handle. So the next time you're hanging off a building, you won't drop your gun again."
How very sweet
And
of
she
him.
takes the magazine and throws it away. So as he's telling her each feature, she's like, "Ooh, and she throws the magazine and is like, "That was hot," and it was very, it's why we fell in love with them. So
Okay, so Molly and Christina's party planning.
that was a good one.
So that's all that I have for I posted in a couple grades. Lots of people liked them, but they did not share their memories. So what else did you have on Instagram?
In 1995, Lo Siso,
Okay.
I butchered your name. 1995, when Brenda wrapped herself up for Sunny.
Yes.
Do you remember that one?
I did. I watched that one.
She dressed herself in a wrappable and dressed and told her to unwrap him and all that.
Did you watch that?
I watched that scene.
Okay. My favorite part of that scene was when she handed him her present to him, and he said, "I thought this was a token," and she was like, "There's nothing about me that's a token."
Yep.
And I was like, "I miss Brenda. Bring her back."
I know. But yeah, that was the only different one on Instagram because everyone else said, the Jason and Sam too. But then over on Twitter, Rose Kelly PC, 1994, Luke, Laura, and Lucky, the Valentine's Day game show. You have to go watch this.
Okay.
So Lucky is leading Laura into the dining room or the living room, whatever, blindfolded.
Mm-hmm.
And she says that she doesn't like being blindfolded. And Luke says, "That's not what you said last night."
Oh, no. Poor Lucky.
He is scarred. And then, so they start to play a game called Is Your Heart in the Right Place? And I mean, he's dressed up like the old school carnival guy, and he goes through a million different names for Lucky. Like he calls him Blippo, Bullwinkle, like all these things, not just cowboy. So yeah, it was really interesting, but he's just calling him all these little cute pet names. So they take off the blindfold and Laura's like, "What did you do with my sheets?" And he's like, "Zip." And so she has to guess her gifts by answering questions. Well, so first she guesses her gifts, and then he's like, "Nope, but you can find out by answering these questions." So the first question that he asked her was, "What was the first wedding band that your husband gave to you?" Do you know what it was?
No, I don't.
Neither did I.
Okay.
She said paper. Lucky goes, "Paper?" And she said, "Yeah, it was a cigar ring."
Oh.
And Luke let her have that,
Yeah.
And, oh, sorry. Before they started answering the questions, he made her introduce herself. And she's like, "I'm married, I'm a mom, and I'm a homemaker, blah, 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 blah." And he says, "Now that you're finally a homemaker with a home, you get a stove." And so he bought her a new stove. The second question was, in a certain barn in Beecher's Corner, who was the dangerously dashing man you slept with? And she goes, "Luke." And Lucky goes, "Dad." Do you know who it was?
I'm hoping that it's Luke.
It was Lloyd Johnson, which was Luke. And she was Lucy Johnson. So
I'm glad they clarified that for poor Lucky, or he would really be scarred for life.
Right. And the prize was a dishwasher. But he was really cute. Whenever he was revealing it, he's like, "Say goodbye to glove hands. You get a dishwasher."
And she wanted a house so badly.
She wanted roots. She wanted to stay.
Yes. So those presents are acceptable. That's the only case that those presents are acceptable.
Correct. So then Lucky gets a prize during halftime. He gets a prize because he got to answer the question where he answered the question, where was he born? And he was born in Texas. So his dad gave him a brand new portable tape player.
Oh my God. Oh
and
my
made
God.
me feel old because he's like, "Cool. This is great." Best gift ever. For kids at home,
Right, they're like, a what?
Google cassette tapes. Google Walkman. Walkman.
And they'll be like, what kind of headphones are these? They're not AirPods. I don't know how to work them.
So then the third question, where on earth did you, Laura Weber Spencer, spend the night before your marriage to Lucas Lorenzo Spencer Sr.? And it flashes back to them the night before, and they were saying goodnight and everything, and they were down on the docks.
Aww.
And she won a fridge freezer combo, complete with ice and water dispensers.
Wow, that's
which
fancy.
that was a big deal at that time. I mean, when was that?
Still a big deal.
94.
I don't have an ice water combo in my fridge, so I would be impressed with that.
And then, so that was the 3 big prizes. And Lucky said that he was going to go upstairs, and he said, I'm going to go upstairs and hurl. And Luke was like, was it all the mushy stuff? He's like, mm-hmm. So then Laura said that later that night she would make him a nice martini and only be wearing like a fringe apron.
Got it.
And Luke said, okay, and he was like, but before that, your husband would like a glass of ice. And so he gives her a cup, and she goes to put water, and he's like, no, I just want ice. And so then she looked in, and inside the ice was a pair of diamond earrings.
Wow.
Oh, I forgot. So before that, at the beginning, she said something about diamonds. He said, you're too young for diamonds. And she goes, honey,
you're never too young for diamonds.
Right. Sorry. But I guess that's actually funnier now that I forgot to say it. But yeah, so he got her diamond earrings.
Wow.
And she was like, make that a double martini and no apron. It was so cute to see them flirting with each other.
They were a cute couple.
There's a reason why they are a legendary, right? People who don't even watch General Hospital know who Luke and Laura are.
Everybody knows who Luke and Laura is.
Exactly. And then people mentioned Robert and Holly.
I automatically want to say, ew, no, I do not like them together.
In 1984, it was Robert and Holly's first Valentine's Day together, and he wrote her this card. So on Twitter, we had several people, Sarah Ferris, Marcia Bess, Mike Laval, which we need to talk about guys that are fans.
Oh, yeah.
Jay Matty, Michelle, and Terry Cavoli. Well, Terry Cavoli said on this day Robert and Holly got married. Everyone else was talking about 1984, which was their first Valentine's Day, and at No Two Souls. So I did watch this, but it was a very difficult. I'm still going to post it in the playlist, but it was difficult to hear exactly what he was saying. And she put together this cute little graphic.
Totally hooked you. Oh my gosh, look at Holly's hair.
And put it, that too. And Robert wrote this to Holly. Holly, did you know that this is my first Valentine I've ever given, except maybe one to Mum when I was but a wee lad? Anyway, until you, there's never been anyone that special. I love you, Holly. Not the kind of love that only lasts a day or a month or a year. Not the kind that lasts a lifetime either. Ours is a love that will live forever. No two souls have been more right for each other, more perfect, more blessed. It was sweet. And then
I don't like them.
Holly said, can we go back to bed now? And Robert said, I kind of had this idea about having a sauna. And she said, oh, that's too bad. I had my heart set on a bubble bath. Robert said, yeah, I'll tell you what, we'll go back to bed, then we'll sauna, and then we'll jump in the bubble bath. And Holly said, it sounds wicked. And Robert said, I just knew you'd love it. Come on. And also in Valentine's Day, 1984 is when Duke proposed to Anna.
Aww.
And the last one was in 1990. So it says it was originally planned, but it got bumped up, that Frisco and Felicia's second wedding was supposed to be Valentine's Day, but it was originally planned that way, but it got bumped up. So thank you. Kit is the one who said that they were getting remarried, but then Marissa is the one who mentioned that it got bumped up. And I did watch it. It did get bumped up. It was January. It was the end of January. So, I mean, it wasn't even really close, but they brought it up. So I at least wanted to, it was around there. And if it was supposed to be Valentine's Day, we'll give them a half credit.
There you go.
But yeah, so that is what everybody on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook said were their favorite episodes.
I love that people went back for us.
Yes.
So that we could learn things that we didn't know. Because obviously, Holly and Robert, 84, neither one of us remember any of that. So.
I was 2.
I was 4.
I was 1.5 for Valentine's Day, actually. So So what's your favorite Valentine's Day memory?
So I was torn between two.
Okay.
My favorite, if you're talking to 17-year-old me,
Okay.
is going to be your favorite, I bet, which is Lucky and Elizabeth. And I watched the entire episode and listened to it.
Are you talking about 1999?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Then yes.
Yes,
It is.
1999.
Sorry, I just dropped my water bottle.
Wait a second while Shannon gets herself back together. Good thing I closed this. Okay. So, yes, 1999. I guess I was 19 at the time, but I feel like I still had a 17-year-old's brain. They were just so sweet, and they were so that puppy dog love that you have as a teenager, and you really think you're going to be together forever, which most people are not. And he planned it all. It was a total surprise for her, and to get her mind off of being raped the year before and all that kind of stuff. And I'm sure we're going to get into it more with you because I know it was your favorite also.
So do you have a backup?
So my other favorite, if you're talking to grown-up Amanda, would be, surprisingly, Lulu and Dante back in 2010.
Okay.
He was in the hospital because he had just got shot. And she went to him and she had a sexy little red dress on and she brought food and candles and flowers and all that kind of stuff. And they had not hooked up yet. And Maxie slipped into her bag a thing of glow in the dark condoms. So
oh my gosh.
Dante pulled them out and was like, wow, I wasn't expecting this. I'm not quite sure. That wasn't in my mind as I'm laid up in the hospital. And she was like, that was not, oh my God, I'm going to kill Maxie, blah, blah, blah. And it was just, it felt authentic.
Mm-hmm.
The way like real life would happen. Oh, you're in the
Right.
hospital, so I'm coming to visit you. I still want the day to be special.
Right.
And they had an adult conversation without her pouting or whining about the fact that he had just got hired then by the PCPD. This is when he was transferring from New York over to like the big secret was out. So he said about getting hired and she kind of had reservations and he was like, why, what's up? And she said, well, my dad doesn't exactly follow the law and your new family doesn't exactly follow the law.
Right.
So
how's that going to work out?
Yes, but it was an actual conversation. It was
Right.
not her just throwing a hissy fit.
It was better
or
writing
crying.
than we are doing to her right now. She's
Right.
gotten better
She
recently.
has gotten better recently. I was surprised. This is the second time this week I've said something positive about Lulu. So it's
keep up the good writing.
Yes.
Because it's not the actress. It's
100%. It's not the actress.
We don't hate the writers. It's just whatever was going on there. I'm glad that they stopped.
Right. And this is old Lulu. And the chemistry between her and Dante was really cute and really good when they were first getting together and all that. But like I said, it just felt, I know it's a soap opera, but it didn't feel like a soap opera moment. It felt like an authentic, right. I love you.
Do you think that we feel that way about them because they were basically kids and we watched them quote unquote grow up? And I know they weren't kids, but like they were younger and we saw them kind of at that time where you're really starting to focus on forever.
Right.
So maybe that's why we're so.
Maybe. I don't know.
I don't know either.
It's hard for me with Lulu because in 99, the beginning of that episode, Lucky stopped over to see Laura and they were having a party for Lulu and she was a little kid, probably 3, 4-ish. Right. I don't know if they said her age, with super dark hair, which is funny now that she's Miss Blondie. But I always put her and Maxie and Elizabeth and Lulu and them all kind of in the same, and they're not. There's definite age difference there. I guess because Maxie had hooked up with Lucky. I kind of just, I don't know. I've narrowed their age gap, and watching that, you're like, oh yeah, there is like significant time between the two of them. I forgot about that.
Yep.
So, all right.
Soros changes everything.
It does. So what were your favorites?
So my favorite was 1999, and I also watched the whole thing.
And of course you did.
They were throwing Lulu a Valentine's Day party. And Lucky came over to Laura's and helped stuff some of the bags. And he brought... Did he bring something for Lulu? Nicholas did, though. Nicholas came over.
Lucky brought a thing of candy.
Yep.
But then Nicholas brought one for both Laura and Because, of course, he has to one-up Lucky. But anyway.
I don't think it was. They were getting together then. Or they were getting along then.
I still feel like he liked to one-up everybody.
I don't think that was a one-up. He had manners.
Mm-hmm.
That was polite.
Back in the day. Maybe I can't remember it. It's been so long ago.
But that was very polite.
It was very polite. That was nice. You should definitely get your mother something for Valentine's Day.
But like you had mentioned, 1998 was the year that Liz was raped going to the Valentine's Day dance at school.
Right.
And that's what really pulled her and Lucky together. And he planned this entire night for her because he wanted to make sure that that was the only bad Valentine's Day for her, that every Valentine's Day going forward was going to be a good one. And so he goes over to see Liz, and she has, it's very nicely decorated, and they talk, and then they dance. And they danced to NSYNC's God Must Have Spent a Little More Time on You.
I may have been singing along to that as I was watching
Maybe. And I think that's why I like it so much, because I'm like, I was you guys, and with my ex at that time. No, I was not with my ex on Valentine's Day that year, but we did meet in 1999.
Okay.
So, but I was that age, and now we have 2 kids, and now I look back and go, wow, we were babies. But I liked when they were leaving and Lucky was like, well, I have something to take you to. Just put on your snow boots, whatever.
Yeah.
She's like, but it's so cold out. And they had a blizzard going on or something. And he said, hypothermia never hurt anyone. Well, maybe the Donner Party, but not us. Because that's so a joke that I would do. And he surprised her with a candlelit church, basically.
Right.
And it's the church that we've all seen, and he had candles all over the place. And he told her how he sees her in his future, gave her flowers. And the flowers were a tragedy because he had called and had been told that he could get orchids.
Mm-hmm.
And then when he went to pick them up, they weren't there.
Right.
So Laura hooked him up with some.
Thank God Laura had bought some white roses.
Yeah.
Because if not, he would have been lost.
And she made him a beautiful bouquet to bring to Elizabeth. And he gave her the flowers, and they pledged themselves to each other. And each of them say to each other that the other has each other's hearts.
Mm-hmm.
Did that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Under permanent lock.
Mm-hmm.
And then they got snowed in at the church, and that was really it. But it was. And it explains why we like remembering them so much. Because like you said, it was 17-year-old, even though you were 19-year-old, Amanda. Because I was 17-year-old Shannon, so you were not.
No, I know. I was 19.
But, so you were with your ex?
No, I was not.
Okay.
So Matt's dad and I broke up whenever I was pregnant because he was being a jerk at the time. So I wasn't with anyone in 99. I was with Matt. Matt was my Valentine.
Hey!
He was almost a year old at that point.
The kids are the best.
So they are. He took his first steps on my birthday. Yes. So he really was, which was 2 weeks after Valentine's Day. So he really was my Valentine that year. I know. It's the cutest thing ever.
I don't remember. It's because it was your birthday.
Yeah.
You remember that because I don't remember what day.
No. Oh, I couldn't. Please don't ask me about the girls because I'll look like a really bad mom. I don't know those.
That is the sweetest.
Yeah.
Though.
On my birthday, took his first steps. It was adorable.
I absolutely love that. That is so sweet. But so you were at least had already been in that place, like
right. That was the kind of love that I had felt for his dad. Like, we're gonna be together forever, and it's wonderful and perfect, and
especially after that
tragedy,
so she crushed on him hard, as we talked about in her 411, and she was finally with him.
Yes,
and
it was beautiful. It was perfect.
Was great.
It was adorable. I don't know how realistic it is because I haven't met very many 16, 17-year-old boys that are putting that much effort into anything, let alone Valentine's Day, but it was super sweet.
Lucky is a different breed.
Yeah.
So that's it. But yeah, so that is what everyone said was their favorite Valentine's Day moments.
Everyone focused, talking like recently last year, on the Elizabeth and Franco wedding. Do you know what else happened last year on Valentine's Day?
No, what?
We found out that Carly was pregnant.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
He kept offering her drinks. And she's like, no.
Yes.
So
that was right.
Cute. It was a cute scene. I had seen some people talking recently in the different groups and stuff about how they don't think that Sunny and Carly have as much heat as they used to and aren't as romantic. But seeing them last year at this time, I feel like we're just in a lull because of life, because they're
kind of going through some stuff right now. I mean, Mike is not a downer, but
Right.
when
That's a
you
lot.
have that kind of emotional, I'm sorry,
Right.
you're not exactly like, hey.
Exactly. So it was sweet to see
Like-
them. Like they woke up in bed together.
That's
in the
marriage.
afternoon, and she said something about making love in the afternoon is such a special, like it doesn't happen. It's a rare occurrence or whatever.
Right.
And then the day went from there, and I was like, oh yeah, that was a year ago that we learned we were
seriously-
getting baby Donna.
That is marriage, though. Like,
Yo,
that's actually
it is.
realistic.
It is. Yeah, they had heat.
Not
last
getting
year.
into TMI, but I mean, it's like there's definitely been ups and downs and times where it's more roommate than
Right.
romantic. But I mean, yeah, you know what I mean.
Yes.
But
So
yeah,
I can't wait to see what this year
I know.
has in store for
What do you
us.
think's going to happen this year? So we're releasing this on Thursday. Nothing should really have been happening yet because typically they do like Thursday, Friday.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you think's going to happen this year?
I will be excited to see how Michael handles Sasha and Nell still lurking around, because I feel like
Yes.
any plans he tries to make, Nell is going to try to screw up.
I agree. I'm wondering if Chase might propose to Willow.
You will cry so.
I'm ready for it. They're ready for it.
They
I
are.
think, even though they have not been together as long as we like to think
But
they
they're
have.
just so cute.
They really are. I mean,
sometimes you just know.
Yes.
And we just know for them. Whether
Yes.
they know it or not, we know.
exactly. But yeah, this was a fun one. This was a lot of fun.
That's because Valentine's Day is fun.
But now, I mean, I hope that next year we're able to get some different memories and things like that.
Yeah.
So start thinking. You got 57 years to look through.
Right.
That's a lot.
That is a lot.
So join us back on Monday as we do a recap of this week's shows.
Have a good weekend.
And we'll meet you at the pier.
Bye.
Bye.
If you enjoyed today's show, we invite you to go to pier54podcast.com to subscribe on your favorite platform. Don't forget to leave us a review.
And you can also follow us on many social media channels. Just search for Pier 54 Podcast. Also, we are not perfect, so if there is something that we missed or messed up, just let us know by emailing us at pier54podcast@gmail.com.